So today I had went on that run, and basically what I was talking about like last video, where I was saying how if you're ever feeling a certain way, or if you're like really anxious, or you're feeling really depressed or something, you should go out and just run and shit. And I didn't really necessarily have a whole lot of like anxiety before I started to run, but I just had this like want to burn all of this like excess energy just from like being in the crib all day and everything like that. And it was making me think about something that like my dad had said, which was if you start doing something, you know, like throughout your 20s, you should keep doing that thing that you're doing throughout your 20s because it'll carry you throughout the rest of your life in a way. And he was only saying this when he was rollerblading again. Like he hadn't rollerbladed since he was like 19 or 20. But he was saying like just in general, like if you're working out, you should continuously keep doing that. And how it'll just be something that is just a part of your life. It'll be something that is just like constantly there in the background. And I was kind of starting to apply it just to working out and also with the running thing. Like, you know, exercising doesn't have to just be some phase, because I started to realize and notice, even with people that are older than me too, how they'll fall off of like working out or fall off of being really active and things like that. And you can kind of see how it affects their day to day life and all that. And as I was running, I was just suffering the entire time that I was like trying to go for this jog and do this run, like without stopping. Because when I was reading about like what a 5K is and how you have to keep on running until the 5K is pretty much done, that's a sense of suffering, but also it's kind of enjoyable. Like while I was running and like being hella out of breath and suffering the entire time, I kind of found some enjoyment through it. And the title of the video is going to be like, to live is to suffer. But when I was thinking about that, like that line, I started to think more about how the suffering doesn't just have to be miserable. Like you don't have to just be completely miserable while suffering. You can enjoy it at the exact same time. And so what I'm realizing more is just how life itself is going to be pretty like suffering in a way because of how expensive shit is. But just because I'm suffering throughout that entire thing, doesn't mean it has to be completely miserable. And I'm trying now to also just look at the glass half full instead of constantly looking at it half empty. Because now that the more I look at it half full, it's kind of like it's a bit more enjoyable. Even though there's some suffering, it's a bit more enjoyable to deal with. It feels a bit like better in a weird way, which isn't weird, but from looking at things half empty, it feels a little weird to look at it half full and actually have it be, enjoyable to deal with. Yeah, but I went for that run today, and it kind of was making me feel like accomplishing something. Like even though I would work out, that would also make me feel like I kind of accomplished something that day. But going for that run and feeling as out of shape or miserable as I kind of felt, being able to like complete a couple of laps made me feel not just more relieved mentally, but just physically it made me feel like I was working towards something. Because I don't want to be here from a year from now and just be at the same level of cardio that I'm at right now. Like I should be able to run a good mile without feeling completely exhausted. And I think right now, like that's the point that I want to get to, at least within my physicality in a way. I feel like there's a better word to use, but yeah, like physicality in a way. And I feel like I'm not the only person that thinks that way, but I'm also thinking like You know, I'm not in everybody else's head, so I can only do what I can do, which is just, you know, be better than I was yesterday. But yeah, I think now it's like I'm trying not to be super, super overthinking it, or like I'm thinking like I gotta go for this run like every single day, because I start to feel that shit in my legs, which I don't know if is a good thing or just kind of my body telling me to kind of like relax a little bit, you know, take a break one day and then go back to doing the run. But you know, to live is to suffer, but that doesn't mean all of the suffering has to be miserable. So yeah, that's all I got today. Maybe I'll have more tomorrow. I don't know, but that's what I got today. Be breezy. Be better than you were yesterday. Peace.